Hey guys, in today's Juicy Bits, I'm going to give you a quick tip on how to make your website copy more effective. It's based on a trick that marketers have known since the 80s, but we're going to use it in a modern adaptation to actually tell people why we want them to take action instead of just asking them to take action. And so I learned about this from a book called Influence, written in the 80s. And it was based on a number of psychological experiments that uncovered a number of ways that we react to certain words and certain actions when we're basically being influenced by other people. So you can see why this is such a valuable book to marketers. So in this experiment, and remember this was back in the 80s, they went into university libraries where people were waiting in long lines to use the photocopier, probably to copy some pages for homework that they could take home. And what they did was they sent students to the front of the line and they gave them a number of different lines to actually ask if they could cut in front of everybody and use the copy machine first. So the first line they gave the students in the experiment was, "Excuse me, I have 5 pages. May I use the Xerox machine?" And in this control group, they had about 60% of all of the students they experimented on actually said yes and let this other person cut in front of them and use the copy machine for their 5 pages. So now they started to play with the wording, and they actually started to give the people a reason and use the word because, which is the trick word here. And when the experimenters started to use the word because, they found that the compliance skyrocketed. So in the second line, they actually said, "I have 5 pages. May I use the Xerox machine? Because I'm in a rush." And so by telling these people that they were in a rush, it basically made it more palatable that they were letting them cut in front of them. They weren't just asking without giving them a reason. They were kind of explaining why they needed to cut in front of them. And so what they did was they really tried to dissect it, and they found out that even if they didn't really give a reason that was meaningful, but they still used the word because, they would have almost the same compliance level. So in this experiment, they actually said, "Excuse me, I have 5 pages. May I use the Xerox machine because I have to make copies?" Now, obviously they need to use the Xerox machine to make copies, so they're not really adding any value. But when they added the word because and any reason afterwards, the compliance, again, would go almost to 100%. So in that last example, it was 93%, just 1% lower than telling them that they were in a rush. So I want to encourage you guys to think about giving your users reasons for why you want them to convert. So in an example where you actually might say, "Schedule your consultation," you might think about changing that with some more elaborated copy and say, "Schedule your consultation because space is limited." And so you can really, give them a reason for why they want to take action. And so another quick example, instead of "call us now," you might say, "Call us now because this offer is limited." So again, you're giving them real validation, a reason why you want them to take action. It may seem silly, but we seem to be pre-programmed to need a justification for taking action. And so if you can use this little psychological trick in your website copy, you might have more effective call to actions. So I want you to try this because you've watched the Juicy Bits video and now you know it works.